The world is a machine that refuses to function, yet it demands your constant praise. You see the gears grinding, the metal screaming, and the oil leaking onto the floor. Others look at the smoking wreckage and call it a masterpiece of modern engineering. This is the birth of logic-based rage, a slow-burning fire fueled by objective reality.
It is not the hot, impulsive anger of the ego, but the cold, heavy weight of truth.
To the rational mind, a contradiction is more than a mistake. It is a physical insult. You walk through a landscape of broken systems and celebrate the people who broke them.
Every day you witness decisions made on a whim, ignoring the data right in front of them.
You offer the solution, the clear path forward, and you are met with blank, empty stares.
They prefer the comfort of the lie over the cold, hard efficiency of the logical truth.
This is the curse of the high IQ thinker, the one who sees the pattern before it breaks. You are a chess player trapped in a world where everyone else is playing a game of luck. The frustration builds not because you are arrogant, but because you are actually right. You see the bridge collapsing in slow motion while the architect is busy taking a bow. The rage begins as a whisper, a small voice asking why nobody else can see the obvious. Over time, that whisper turns into a roar that vibrates within the marrow of your bones. It is the exhaustion of explaining the same simple principles to people who refuse to learn. The world operates on emotion, on status, and on the desperate need to feel socially safe. But logic cares nothing for your feelings, and it cares even less for your social standing. When you prioritize the truth over the tribe, you become an alien in your own civilization. You find yourself grinding your teeth at the grocery store, the office, and the dinner table. You watch as billions of dollars are wasted on projects that were doomed from the very start. You listen to leaders speak in circles, using many words to say absolutely nothing at all. The logic-based rage is a symptom of a mind that is tuned to a frequency the world ignores. It is the psychological tax you pay for the ability to perceive the underlying structure. Most people live in the narrative, but you live in the mechanics, the cause and the effect. When the effect does not follow the cause, your brain registers it as a cognitive error. But in this society, the error is celebrated, and the one who points it out is the villain. You are told to be patient, to be kind, and to understand that not everyone thinks like you. But how can you be patient with a captain who is intentionally steering the ship into ice? How can you be kind to a system that rewards the loudest voice instead of the smartest one? The isolation of the logical mind is a dark room where the only light is your own reason. You start to withdraw, not because you hate people, but because their illogic is draining. Every interaction becomes a minefield of fallacies, cognitive biases, and sheer stupidity. You begin to realize that most debates are just two people shouting their feelings at walls. There is no search for truth in the public square, only a search for the most popular lie. This realization is the moment the logic-based rage turns into a profound, quiet cynicism. You stop trying to fix the machine because you realize the people actually love the chaos. The chaos provides them with excuses, with drama, and with a sense of unearned importance. Your logic is a threat to their drama, a cold bucket of water on their feverish delusions. So they marginalize you, calling you difficult, cold, or unable to work in a team. In reality, you are the only one in the room who actually knows how the team is failing. The burden of the shadow is carrying the blueprint of a better world that will never exist. You see the potential for harmony, for efficiency, and for a society built on rational thought. Instead, you are forced to navigate a labyrinth built by people who don't know left from right. The rage is a defense mechanism, a way for your mind to scream against the mounting insanity.
If you didn't feel the rage, you would have to accept that the world is simply irredeemable.
The anger is the last shred of hope you have that things should and could be different.
But hope is a dangerous thing for a man who prides himself on his objective observation.
To survive the logic-based rage, you must learn the art of the observer's detachment. You must view the world not as a home you need to fix, but as a laboratory of the absurd.
Watch the irrationality as if it were a strange species of insect performing a ritual.
Do not expect the insect to understand calculus. Do not expect the world to be logical. Your rage comes from the expectation that reality should align with your internal map. Burn the map. Accept that the territory is a swamp of emotion and contradictory desires. When you stop expecting logic from the illogical, the rage begins to lose its sharp edge. It transforms into a dark, comedic appreciation for the sheer scale of human stupidity. You become the philosopher in the ruins, watching the pillars crumble with a slight smile. You cannot save a world that is addicted to its own destruction and its own ignorance. Your only duty is to maintain the integrity of your own mind amidst the rising tide of noise. Do not let their chaos become your internal state. Keep your logic as a shielded flame. The rage is a sign that you still care about the truth, and that is a noble, heavy burden. But do not let that burden crush you. Use it as a weapon to carve out your own sanctuary. Find the few others who speak your language, the ones who see the gears and the oil too. In a world of madness, the man who clings to logic is either a king or a prisoner. The choice depends entirely on whether he can master his rage or be consumed by its heat. Look around you today and see the cracks in the walls, the errors in the code of society. Feel the heat rise in your chest when you hear the latest irrational decree from the top. Take a deep breath and remember that their failure to be logical is not your personal failure. You are the guardian of the sequence, the keeper of the if-then in a world of maybe-so. The logic-based rage is the price of admission for seeing the world as it truly functions. It is the shadow of intelligence, the dark twin of the ability to solve complex problems. Without the rage, you would be a drone. With it, you are a witness to the grand tragedy. Let the world be wrong. Let the systems fail. Let the irrational voices scream themselves hoarse. Your power lies in your ability to remain unmoved by the storm of human inconsistency. The highest form of logic is knowing when to stop applying it to those who cannot hear. Save your energy for the things you can control, for the systems you can actually build. The rest is just background noise in the great, dark symphony of the human experiment. You are not crazy for being angry. You are just paying attention to the details. The world is a mess of broken logic, but your mind can remain a temple of pure reason. Do not let the rage turn into bitterness. Let it turn into a sharp, cold clarity of vision. The more they act without reason, the more valuable your own rationality becomes to you. It is your compass in the dark, your only friend in a landscape of shifting, liquid lies. Stay sharp, stay logical, and most importantly, stay distant from the heat of the crowd. The logic-based rage is a fire that can either light your path or burn your house down. Choose to be the light. Choose to be the one who sees the truth and remains standing. The world will continue its dance of the absurd long after you are gone from this place. Your only job is to ensure that while you were here, you didn't join in the madness. Every time you choose logic over reaction, you win a small victory against the chaos. Every time you hold your tongue in the face of stupidity, you preserve your own peace. The rage is a teacher. showing you exactly where the world is most broken and fragile.
Listen to the lesson, but do not become the student who never leaves the classroom. The shadow of the mind is deep, but the light of logic is piercing and unforgiving. Embrace the burden of your insight, for it is the only thing that makes you truly free. You are the architect in a world of wrecking balls. Keep your blueprints safe and dry. The logic-based rage is the pulse of a mind that refuses to sleep through the disaster.
Keep it beating, but keep it quiet. The wise man knows when the truth is a waste of breath.
The silence of the logical mind is more terrifying to the world than any loud protest. In that silence, you are judging them by the laws of reality, and they know they fail. The rage is your testimony. The logic is your armor. The isolation is your throne.
Welcome to the shadow of the human mind, where the truth is the most uncomfortable guest.
You are not alone in your anger, but you are alone in your understanding of its source. The world will never thank you for being right, but reality will always prove you were.
And in the end, the satisfaction of the "I told you so" is a cold comfort, but a comfort nonetheless.
Let the rage settle into a fine, sharp point. Use it to pierce through the veil of the everyday.
Understood?
The logic-based rage is the anthem of the few who refuse to hallucinate with the many.
Walk softly through the ruins of their reasoning and keep your own mind perfectly intact. This is the curse. This is the gift. This is the logic-based rage of the Psychumbra.
Do not seek validation from those who lack the tools to even comprehend your perspective.
Their disapproval is actually a confirmation that your logic is functioning as it should.
If the irrational world agreed with you, that would be the time to truly start worrying.
The heat you feel is the friction between your integrity and their convenient delusions.
Let it burn. Let it remind you that you are still awake while the rest are dreaming. The logic-based rage is the only honest response to a world that has abandoned the truth. Carry it with pride, carry it with caution, but never, ever let go of the logic that birthed it. For in the final accounting, the only thing that remains is the cold, hard structure of what was.
The feelings will fade, the crowds will vanish, but the logic of the universe is eternal.
Be the vessel for that eternity, even if it hurts, even if it burns, even if it isolates.
I am the Psychumbra. Logic prevails in the dark. Rationality is absolute. Danger is inherent.